Welcome to banddirector.com. My name is Randy Casteel. I'm the band director at Dakota High School and Chippewa Valley Schools, and I also teach trumpet and jazz studies at Macomb College. Today I'd like to talk to you about developing the upper register for the young players. This is a topic that a lot of middle school directors avoid because their music doesn't call for it. But unless we start developing those embouchures early and developing our upper register early, then when they get to high school and college, when it is required of them, then we find them getting into bad habits, and pressing, choking in the throat, changing the embouchure, trying to hit high notes, and we end up getting kind of a weak sound and maybe even damaging some of our students as they try to play the high notes before they're ready. So here's some tips on how to develop embouchure and range for the young players. First of all, the embouchure has to be correct. I would recommend that you go back and look at our video on the embouchure, and it talks about having a good placement, about 50-50, and making sure the chin muscle's down, the corners are firm, all the lip muscles are firm around the embouchure. And then also, the students need to be breathing deeply. Check out any of the videos that deal with breathing. If you ever have gone to a clinic or talked to Maynard Ferguson, one of the great high note players of all time, he always says, read the breathing section out of a yoga book. And breathing is where the range comes from. It's the air support, the air column. So air and proper embouchure is really the fundamentals for the upper range. Here are some things that are common. As I've studied trumpet all across the United States, the same things keep coming up from all the teachers and players I've ever met, and they are this. A good warm-up starting with the low register that normally involve pedal tones, some sort of long tone study, some form of lip slur studies, and then exercises to start extending the range in the upper register, scale patterns, tonguing patterns, lip slur patterns as we go up higher and higher. The other thing that we have to understand is range is like weightlifting. You're not going to go from 50 pounds today to 200 pounds tomorrow. You've just got to keep adding little by little as you go and really get solid with the range you have today. Make that comfortable and usable at all dynamic levels and all situations. Then add a half step or a step, maybe a week at a time or a couple of weeks at a time, and be patient. Don't expect to go from C in the staff, your tuning note, to double high C overnight. It's not going to happen. But you can develop it over weeks and months, and I think you'll see increased range pretty quickly. So the first thing, low tones, I recommend the pedal tones. Pedal tones are, once again, notes off the horn, and I'll do an arpeggio down to low F natural, which is the first note off the trumpet. Now, it's not a beautiful sound. It's not meant to be a beautiful sound. It's not a real note that we're going to use. But then take those notes down as low as you can. And so on. Just keep sliding down as far as you can go. So those are pedal tones. Again, review the video that we've done on pedal tones. The next thing would be a long tone study. Simply doing a C scale in long tones very slowly would be fine, right in the mid-range. If you're a more advanced player, I would encourage you to look at the Carmen Caruso method. He uses a series of half notes and whole notes and breathing through the nose for those exercises to keep the embouchure firm throughout. But just simply, any long tone study, whole tones at a soft volume is a good thing to start. A C scale would be fine. The next step would be lip slurs, learning how to control the lip flexibility going from high notes to low notes, even in the lower or mid-range. This is done by tightening and loosening the embouchure, by arching and lowering the tongue, as in saying E and ah, T, ah, T, ah, T, ah. That'll help the slurs. And when you say E, it pulls the lips up a little bit, it arches the tongue, and that makes the air compress, creating a faster vibration. And then when you say ah, it lowers the jaw and loosens the embouchure, drops the tongue out of the way, the airstream becomes slower and less vibration, creating a low tone. And that would be done like this. So either register, I'm still thinking E, ah, E, and the tongue is arching and lowering. Okay? So good mouthpiece placement, then using the air properly and using the tongue to make that air faster and slower. So there are a number of good lip slur studies that you could refer to. The Charles Collin lip slur, lip flexibility studies. There's 3 volumes. I like the Earl Irons. It's 27 group exercises, and that's designed particularly for strengthening the embouchure and developing range. And the one that I use in my warm-up is this pattern here. And I'll just do part of it for you, and then you can expand it on your own. And then continue on up through the range as far as you can go through your 7 different fingering patterns. Once you kind of work that slur out and you're getting comfortable moving the air easily with the tongue and the lips, then you'll go up in the upper register. And again, start with the notes that you can hit easily. Most middle school and high school students should be able to play at least to F or G or A on top of the staff. And you can do lip slurs up there as well. Just a very short slur, about an interval of a second or minor thirds, the higher you go. That'll strengthen the embouchure too. The next step is to just slur up as high as you can go on those same fingerings. And it doesn't have to be pretty, it's just getting the exercise. You're lifting weights again. These are physical exercises, not musical exercises. So once we start to push those notes up a little bit, you'll start to be able to control them over time. The next step I would take for developing the range is playing scales and arpeggios up there. And I use 5-note scale patterns. I think it's a little easier to control. You kind of know where you are. So let me take the C scale pattern, and I'll just stay in the key of C, but I'll play 5 notes at a time. On up as high as you can go. The one thing that you want to remember is that we don't change our sound as we go higher. A lot of students will let things thin out like this. They get a real thin, weak kind of sound, and that normally means that they're closing in their throat, they're pressing the mouthpiece against the lips, they're not blowing from the guts, using their stomach muscles, the air system. So blow through the horn, all the way through the horn. Try to feel like you're pushing the horn away from your face. So this might get a little bit loud and maybe edgy, but this is kind of the concept to work for. Again, we're working on physical exercise, not necessarily musical exercises at this point. Blow through the horn, using a lot of air, and just tongue and play up through the range as high as you can go. Once you've hit your top note, whatever note that is, stop for the day. That's all the weight you need to lift. The next day, come back at it and try to go a half step higher or a whole step higher. And just try to keep adding 1 note at a time until it's usable. Again, don't try to accomplish things going from C tuning note to double high C overnight. It won't happen. You'll probably start doing incorrect things and actually set yourself backwards. So be patient, stick with good fundamentals, a solid embouchure, low tones, long tones, lip slurs, and then work your way into the upper register. I would always encourage private lessons, get with a good teacher that can help you in this area, and then check out some of the other videos on banddirector.com. Thank you for watching.